Hi.
Hola.
Hi, hier ist Mr. Döse.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Puma evoTOUCH Pros in the latest white and shocking orange colorway. Now, along with the shoes inside the box, they include what is essentially an insole wallet here from this padded mesh material. Open it up, and on the inside, they include a set of insoles. Here's a look at them. They're not extra insoles because there technically aren't any in the shoes. You don't have to wear insoles with this particular pair, something I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. But if you just want that little bit of extra underfoot cushioning, they do include, like I said, a set of insoles in this little kind of wallet pouch thing. And of course, along with that, you get the shoes themselves, which I have right here in this very bright white, remarkably clean pair of white and shocking orange evoTOUCH Pros. So of course, in today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the colorway itself. We're going to talk tech specs, performance, take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, there'll be a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, little pop-up on screen, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now, out of the box, they look super clean, really nice. All white always looks very good. And the accent color of shocking orange that they use throughout the shoe, I think is really nice as well. They could have used pretty much any accent color and it would have looked good if we're being completely honest with ourselves. Now, the number one question I know a lot of people will ask with these is, will they get dirty easily? And the answer to that question is 100% yes. They will get dirty very easily and very quickly. The one good thing about this upper is there isn't a lot of stitching. The stitching, which is white, you can see going around the edges, is around the lace holes and right here at the back. That gets dirty and it's really difficult to clean that once it does get dirty for the first time. But for the majority of the leather, it's, like I said, pretty much completely smooth one piece. So as long as you keep up with cleaning that, it will stay relatively white. With that said, the sole plate is white, that's going to get stained pretty quickly, and this Evo knit area, which you have across the top of the foot where the tongue would normally be, as well as the collar area, that's all going to get stained really quickly. It's going to show dirt, it's going to be nearly impossible to clean, and like I said, these are going to look really dirty really quickly. So if you don't necessarily want that look, probably not the best colorway to go for, but while they're new, they're gonna look absolutely fantastic. So really nice colorway. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. When it comes to performance, the evoTOUCH Pro is a really interesting shoe. It performs the part, and it's really difficult to compare to anything else out there. It's quite unique, I would say. It introduces two firsts for Puma, being that this is their first kind of mid-cut design, if you will, and it's also their first shoe to incorporate some kind of knitted element, something that's been a very recent trend in soccer cleats, of which they call Evo Knit. Very predictable name there. Nonetheless, the shoe is, like I said, very capable, and given how many new ideas and concepts went into this one pair, like I said, the end result is a pretty impressive product from a comfort as well as performance standpoint. So when it comes to performance, we're gonna go walk you through all the kind of basic details of this particular shoe in this video. But if you do want a little bit more info, or you just wanna see the shoes in action, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen to my playtest video. So if you haven't seen that, you can go ahead and check it out. So there are two main elements to the upper here, one being kangaroo leather and two being the knitted aspect. Now, with pretty much every other brand that features a knitted shoe or that has a knitted shoe, the knit aspect, be it Prime Knit or Fly Knit from Nike or Adidas, it's kind of the focus of the upper. It's the main component of the upper. With this shoe, kangaroo leather is the focus for the upper, and the knitted aspect, dubbed Evo Knit, almost acts as the liner slash enclosure for your foot, if that makes any sense. It does impact the touch because you do have two layers of material between your foot and the ball. But like I said, the knitted aspect is more so for the internals of the shoe as opposed to the externals, which like I said, is a kangaroo leather upper. So it's completely seamless. You don't really have any stitching there, and that's again because you have the knitted aspect on the inside that's lining the shoe. It's really nice quality, super soft. Fairly thin as well, so I wouldn't necessarily compare this to something like a Copa Mundial, a Puma King, even a Nike Tiempo Legend 6. This does come across as being a lot thinner than those shoes, just in terms of how the leather feels on the ball. But if you want that softness, that flexibility, just the kind of more traditional feel of leather in general and how it moves with your foot, you do get that from the evoTOUCH Pro. It is kangaroo leather, by the way. The quality, like I said, as good as you can expect from this style of shoe. And again, for being a leather shoe, it doesn't have a bulky sensation on your foot, which I think is something that a lot of people are kind of concerned with whenever going for something with a leather upper. These don't feel bulky at all. It hugs your foot nicely, and it has a nice streamlined sensation in general. And of course, a nice consistent touch across the entire foot, being that pretty much everything aside from the top of the laces here is 100% leather, which is always nice to see. Now, filling up the middle of the shoe here with a central lacing system, of course, you do have that knitted material, which does have a perforated design to it, so that's going to allow for good breathability. It's also going to mean that if you do play in wet weather conditions, water is going to go right through the top of this shoe very easily, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So I guess for wet weather or regularly playing in wet weather, maybe not the best shoe just because of this particular design, but it does work well. You do have a little bit of a thinner sensation across the laces area, which is more noticeable when you're juggling and shooting especially. So that's worth keeping in mind. Again, you're not necessarily getting that same soft leather touch across the entire foot, but essentially this tongue part that you actually see is attached to this collar area at the back, and it extends all the way through the inside of the shoe. So if you can imagine taking away this leather, there's an entire knitted upper underneath this, and that acts as your liner that's pretty much fully independent of the rest of the shoe. So you can see I can pull the two layers apart, and you have this elasticated knitted material that essentially feels like a high quality sock. It's really the best way to describe it. Very comfortable, and Puma has talked about this in their kind of press release of the shoe. One, it doesn't have an insole, so you don't have to wear an insole with this shoe. It's really a matter of personal preference. What they've done instead is it does have a standard mesh liner, and then they've used these little kind of chevron grip tex applications that run through the entire heel liner as well as on the bottom of the foot, just to grip your sock, keep it in place, prevent it from sliding around, which it does pretty effectively. As far as kind of underfoot cushioning, which is what you would want from an insole, there is a little bit there, but for the most part, there's not a whole lot. If you're playing on nicer natural grass fields, you're not really going to need to wear an insole, but if you are playing on slightly harder ground, you definitely can put the insole in there, get a little bit of extra underfoot cushioning, and in all honesty, the feel between wearing an insole and wearing no insole isn't that big of a difference. It's something that you more or less just kind of play around with once you have the shoes, because again, you have the insoles, try it out, see what feels comfortable to you. For me, I wore them without the insole most of the time, but didn't really have any issues transitioning when putting the insoles in there either. The other thing about these is that you can technically wear them barefoot. Now, this is something that I think was a little bit silly in terms of Puma's marketing department. Yes, you can wear them barefoot and that the inside is completely seamless and it is this sock-like material. So it is comfortable. You're not really going to run into any major issues. The only reason why I say it's a little bit strange is because why would you wear them barefoot, period? You're never going to play barefoot in a pair of soccer shoes in a game unless you take your game socks and cut the foot part off, which, again, kind of unusual thing to do. You're welcome to try that out. I wouldn't recommend it, one, because I still think that there is potential for kind of chafing and discomfort because you are barefoot, just because there's less layers between your foot and the shoe to cause any kind of blistering or discomfort. And two, the smell. The smell alone, I think, is one thing that needs to be considered if you regularly play barefoot in your shoes. Anybody that's had a pair of running shoes that they just wear around barefoot, you know that after a couple wears, just from your feet sweating directly into the shoe, the smell is pretty unbearable, and it does have a little bit of an impact on durability as well, just because sweat has a lot of salt in it, and that will break down the materials on your shoe a little bit more quickly. So in regards to wearing them barefoot, try it if you want, although I would recommend wearing socks with these and pretty much any soccer shoe for that matter. Moving on to the rear of the shoe, like I mentioned, this is somewhat of a mid-cut design. Not really though, in that this is pretty much just extension piece. There's nothing here that's structured in any way at all. You can flatten it right down, as you can see, with no effort whatsoever. This is all just elasticated knitted material, and it comes up a little bit higher at the back, pretty much just for the sake of kind of having that little bit of a visual difference, being more distinct in terms of how the shoe looks. It does have this kind of opening here that's very, very stretchy, so putting them on and taking them off, not an issue whatsoever. And it's fairly comfortable in general. The heel liner is a synthetic suede with those little grip applications. Not a ton of padding back there, but again, it is quite comfortable. And you guys did get a look at the inside liner, at least as best as you can, because I can't necessarily open up the shoe. You do have an external heel counter right here that's attached directly to the sole plate itself, which has some really, really good flexibility to it. That's one of my personal favorite features of this shoe, is that it just feels very natural with your foot. The flexibility of the sole plate, the softness of that Evo knit liner, and of course the softness of the leather just work really, really well with this particular design. It has that kind of free-flowing, very natural sensation when you're running around in this shoe. And then they did incorporate this speed track kind of stiffener bar running through the middle here. So it gets progressively more flexible as you get from heel to toe. So the toe area, essentially the forefoot has no stiffness to it whatsoever, whereas the midfoot and heel is going to be a lot stiffer as you would want it to be. And then moving on to the stud pattern, this being the firm ground variation. It's pretty much all conical studs, nothing too crazy as far as the layout is concerned, but they're fairly long and fairly aggressive in terms of their profile. So when it comes to traction and just general bite, they provide some pretty good traction, very aggressive for a conical stud pattern, and stability is not an issue. There's nothing that's too crazy as far as the design is concerned, but it does get the job done. It does work quite well, and it's a stud pattern that I personally really enjoy using. So for natural grass, it's going to get the job done for a lot of people. In terms of weight, the evoTOUCH Pro is actually a very lightweight shoe. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to weigh them for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind that this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. I'm going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.2 ounces, the equivalent of 204 grams. So just over the 6 ounce mark, which is, like I said, remarkably lightweight. You probably wouldn't expect it from this shoe just based on it having a natural kangaroo leather upper. But like I said, they're a lot lighter than you might expect. And if you're looking for that lightweight feel in general, you definitely are going to get that from the evoTOUCH Pros. All right, so here is a look at the evoTOUCH Pros on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock white and orange laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of white with black dots premium SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description of this video. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they definitely have a very unique sensation when you put them on for the first time, but also they're very, very comfortable shoes, which I guess is a little surprising considering that it is such a unique design. When you put your foot inside, you definitely notice that you do have that Evo knit lining the entire inside of the shoe, even in the toe box forefoot area, which is just super soft, very comfortable against your foot. Then you pull the laces tight and you really notice the softness and flexibility of this kangaroo leather upper. It's thin, it moves nicely with your foot. If you wear them with no insole, there is a little bit more of a connected sensation to the base of that sole plate, which I really, really like. And then the sole plate itself is super, super flexible. So again, you get this really kind of nice natural range of motion when you're running in these shoes, even from right out of the box. And of course, like any leather shoe, as you wear them in, it softens up and you even will get some stretch out of the upper. So as far as width is concerned, speaking of the leather stretching, these will fit just about anybody. Even if you have wider feet, maybe they'll be a little bit snug out of the box, but give them some time to break in. And like I said, the leather will stretch a fair amount. So for the most part, these will fit most people. As far as sizing is concerned, they run about a half size small. It's kind of typical of Puma. So instead of wearing my usual size 9 US, I bumped it up to a 9.5, and the fit and length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going a half size up in order to achieve the best possible fit. And one last thing, it's worth mentioning, this collar area, the mid-cut aspect, it feels pretty normal. There's no issues with lockdown in the heel. There's no discomfort. You really don't feel that extension piece at the back whatsoever. And again, they feel like standard low-cut shoes, just with a different feel in terms of how the shoe wraps your foot. Alright guys, that is it for my review of the white and shocking orange Puma evoTOUCH Pros. If you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can either click the little eye in the corner of the screen or the first link down below in the description of this video. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, thanks for watching.